Just
from
reduce
the
you.
NDLEA to speak to us on certain issues around drugs, especially the spike on the side of a female angle. And I know that Barrister Shadrach Haruna is ready to, join us. He is, yes. Okay, let you, tell us yourself who you are. Kindly tell us who you are, really.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Shadrach Haruna. I'm the secretary to NDLEA, and I head the secretariat of NDLEA.
Thank you very much. While we're still on you, we might as well just get it through. While we're talking, we have been, mentioning a whole lot of things about drugs, illicit drugs, and all of that. When do we begin to, can you help us make that clear decision? I know some time ago somebody asked me, do you do drugs? I said, yes, I do my vitamins and all of that. So I don't know. Give us the decision.
Sorry, give you a decision on what?
Yeah, give us clarification. When is it bad? Because I know drugs are supposed to help our bodies. When is it now bad that we call it abuse? And which ones are illicit?
Oh, okay. Is that what you mean? Well, we have drug abuse and we have the use of illicit drug. Drug abuse is when drug is being used without prescription. And when we say without prescription, is either the doctor did not ask you to use that particular drug for a particular ailment, or you use it over and above the dose required for that particular ailment. And that is when you use illicit drugs for a particular type of ailment. And that is where drug abuse will come in. And drug abuse in the sense of illicit drug is also the use of illicit drugs for whatever purposes you want to use it for, if it is not prescribed by a doctor. And that again itself is a crime. And possession of such drugs, which are classified as illicit, like cocaine, cannabis, heroin, morphine, and so many of them of that class constitute an offense, and it's also referred to as drug abuse. But what we do generally in our jurisdiction here is we use drugs for everything. But of course, if you say prescribed medicine, particularly the one that is prescribed as illicit, then you make that distinction clearly. And some have made the mistake of saying drugs all the time. And in some jurisdiction, when you refer to drugs, drugs means illicit drugs. Though, of course, it's a generic name for all type of drugs, just like medicine is generic for all type of drugs. But that classification is always there. But when it comes to abuse of any of this type, illicit drugs is abused when it is not prescribed or when it is overused. Illicit drug at any time is abuse of it, and that will lead to drug dependency, which of course we call it addiction. And when there's dependency on drugs, the tendency is for that person to become dependent solely on such drug, and that will lead to destruction. It leads to the person's becoming useless to the society, to herself or to himself, and that is where the law will come in, that anyone who possesses such illicit drug commits an offense.
All right. Just before we joined you, we were talking about the increase in the use of these illicit drugs by women. And on our own, we have actually had a lot of postulations as to why, and the statistical record as well. Could you shed more light? Because recently I know that you were able to nab some women, some of them at the airport, who were actually carrying drugs and also are drug users. My question is, why are women really, getting deeper and deeper into this culture of drug use, illicit drug use? Because in the past, we actually, when we hear people, this person is a drug abuse person, we always give it that gender, the he gender. Why is it now women?
Well, drug use is not peculiar to women. Neither would I say it is gender-based. Drug use could be anyone. The prevalence of drug use in the country, in Nigeria now, is huge, just as it is in so many countries in the world. So when you see so many women coming into it, it's because they're part of the demographic structure of the country. And the reason for that is drug use is prevalence amongst every category of human being, including the gender types you belong to. So basically, when you see women in drugs, of course, in the last survey done by UN, it shows that every 4 person who has used drug in the past years, one of them is a woman. And of course, that is based on the research conducted, and we think it is quite alarming to have at least 1 in every 4. But that does not mean that it is particularly limited to gender use of drugs. It depends on where you are, and it depends on the circumstances affecting that particular individual. And it depends on the disposition of that individual to drug use as well. Because drug use could be, the cause of it could be for so many factors. It could be because you want to be, or because of peer pressure, or because of certain things which is affecting you, either your social or your economic status, or your social being within the community where you live. That could be the reason why drug use could be there. So for women who are into drugs, hitherto women are seen to be people who are just at the background, so it is not recorded as being into so many things that you classify men to be. But with the statistic coming up, and with the fact that urbanization as well as globalization, we see that women increasingly participate in all activities. And when you see them being visible, you also see they are human beings. They are also visible in the use of certain illicit things. And that's why you say women are increasingly using drugs. But of course, it is not peculiar to women. It is the vice that is affecting every gender in the world now, particularly in the sub-Saharan Africa.